Alright, here we go. This is session number 5 in Adobe Photoshop. I'm pretty sure I got that number right, session number 5. And this one is all about creating and styling text in Photoshop. Let me show you where we're headed here. First of all, I'm going to bring up Photoshop. Your assignment today is going to be to create 3 different documents that have text in them that's been styled. Here we see an Indiana Pacers sample that I did. Here we see The Avengers, and over here we see Bazinga, the old Sheldon Cooper line from Big Bang Theory. Alright, so I'm going to ask you to do 3 of them. Now in this movie I probably won't do 3, I'll probably only do 2, but once you see me do 2 you'll have the idea. I'm going to go ahead and close these, and I want to show you that if you go hit your start button and go to computer and go to drive L, the course's drive, and I'm using period 3 here as an example. Go to the assignments folder, go to Photoshop, and go look inside the text session right here, session 5. There is a little handout here in case you need it. Alright, 30-point deal here today, creating new documents in Photoshop, and in each one you're going to color the background layer, create some text, and style the text. I've got all the how-tos right here: making the new document, filling the background, creating the text, sizing the text, styling the text, and then if you want to, and you don't have to do this, but I'm going to show you how, you can also warp the text. Alright, and I'll show you how to do that. And then you're going to save your work. Each one of these 3 separate documents would be text 1, text 2, and text 3. Save those on your network drive, drive H. Alright, let's get back to Photoshop and go to work. To start this off, I'll click File, I'll click New. I'm going to use the web preset here, web preset, and the size is going to be 800 by 600. So I'll click OK. I have my first document up, ready to go. A quick Control-0 on the keyboard will zoom that in to fill the window if you want to do that. I'm going to fill this up. I think I'll do an Indiana Pacers example here. So I'm going to go to Edit, I'm going to go to Fill, and I want to use, I'll use color ... right here. I want to use kind of a darker blue, or at least a medium royal blue, because the Pacers are blue and gold. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I'll click OK right there, I'll click OK right there, and I have my blue background. Excuse me. Alright, now I'm going to come over here and get the type tool. The type tool is right here, down toward the bottom of the toolbar. I want the type tool, and here's how this is going to work. I'm just going to click once on the document, and I'm going to do, I'm going to use my caps lock here, I-N-D-I-A-N-A, Indiana. Alright. Alright, now I'm going to switch to the Move tool here, and I can grab this. Now yours might not look like that when you put yours on. It might be real small and just plain black letters, but here's how you can take care of that. If you'll look over on the layer panel over here on the right hand side, you'll see that my blue background, but as soon as I made that type, Photoshop created what's called a type layer. So I'm going to double click on this capital T on the type layer, and that will select my text. And I can do several things once the text is selected. I could change the font if I wanted to. In fact, I will. I'll just go with this Copperplate Gothic Bold that I kind of like on here. The Copperplate Gothic Bold, there it is. I'll use that. And you can change the size here. You can change the color of it. Right now it's kind of this yellowish color, but I think that's what I want, I think anyway. So I might leave that as it is, but you can click here and change the color if you want to. I'll just click OK there because that's really the color I want. Alright, now, so I've got this set. I've got the font set. I've got everything. Now I'm going to size it. Now to size it, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to switch to my Move tool. The Move tool is the very top tool on the toolbar. It looks like a little arrow here. I'm going to switch to my Move tool, and I'm going to just use that Control T on the keyboard, that transform trick. If I do Control T, I get these handles, and I can size this up as big as I would like for it to be. And I'm going to make it nice and big. I want it to really stand out here. Alright, like that. And remember that after you're done transforming something, you've got to press the Enter key or double click inside the box to make that box go away. Photoshop won't even let you do anything until you either double click in the box or press Enter. You have to finish your transformation. Alright, now the next thing I'm going to do is style this text up a little bit. All right, I'm going to go down here to this effects button that we've used with Mario and with some other things, and I want to style it up. All right, I'm going to give it a bevel emboss here first of all. That makes it kind of look a little bit three-dimensional. I might throw on a stroke, and I want to see what a black stroke looks like, and I'm going to make it bump it up to about 5 and maybe go on the inside of the letter instead of the outside. You know what, I might try the center. I like that a little bit better. So the stroke and the bevel emboss, not bad. I'm going to try a gradient overlay here, and I might play with the gradient overlay just a bit and just see if oh yeah, that's kind of fun. I kind of like that. I'll use that gradient right there. This is a gradient overlay that I'm doing. And I might even throw on, I'm just getting crazy here, I'm going to throw on a little bit of an outer glow around that as well. All right. So there, I've got this Indiana Pacers. You know what? I'm going to go back to stroke and see what that would look like if I make the stroke white instead of black. I kind of like that real bright look to it. Okay, all right. So good, Indiana. Now I could add Pacers on here. You know, I could make some more type and click, and it's going to make a second layer, P-A-C-E-R-S. All right, there's my layer, and I can do Control T to size this up. Make this nice and big here. And I could, I'll double click on that, and I could style this up the same way that I did the other one. I could do that gradient overlay and switch gradients from that black and white gradient to this blue and gold gradient. I'll click OK there. Maybe I want that white stroke on there. The other thing that I think I added was the bevel emboss, but that looks pretty good too. That doesn't look bad either. I also had maybe I'll just throw on a drop shadow. Why not just throw on a drop shadow? I'm just kind of having fun with this now. All right, so there we go. Good enough. All right, so let's say that I decide, yeah, I like this. This is good. I'm happy with it. So this could be my first one. I'll file, save as, and I'm going to say get to my network drive here. There we go, and this is text 1, T-E-X-T-1. All right, very good. And remember that when we see this maximize compatibility box, you just click OK on that. Now remember, you got to do 3. I'm not going to do 3 in this movie, but I am going to do one more because I have a feature I want to show you. So I'm going to click File, I'm going to click New. I'm using the web preset. The size is 800 by 600. I'll click OK. I'm going to do a quick Control 0 on the keyboard to zoom in on that. I'll go to Edit, Fill, and I'm going to use a color. And I'm going to use kind of a deep reddish color here, kind of a burgundy reddish, kind of burgundy red. Okay, there we go. Okay, okay. That'll work. Now I want some type, and I'm going to click once on here. I like caps lock, so I'll do that. Bazinga! Exclamation mark. All right, I've got the text on there, so I'm going to switch to the Move tool. The Move tool is the top tool on the toolbar, and I'll just kind of get this centered up. Now I'm going to do a Control T on the keyboard for transform, and again I'm going to stretch this puppy out. I want it to be nice and big and noticeable and all that good stuff. All right, double click there or press Enter. Now I'm going to come over to the right hand side to the layer panel where I see my type layer for Bazinga. I'm going to double click on the capital T because I want to change the font this time. I'm going to make it Impact. There we go. I like that. Now that it's Impact, I'm going to do another Control T because I want to make it even bigger. Like that. Okay. Now let's have a little fun with it. It's time to style it up a bit. So I'm going to style it up some. Let's do a... golly, Ned, what do I want? I'm going to do a stroke on it. I like that black stroke. I think I'll put that black stroke in the center and maybe make it 5 pixels thick instead of just 3. All right, so that's a good start. I like that. And maybe a little drop shadow action on this one too. Spread and size. Tweak that just a little bit. How about a little inner glow? Why not play with some inner glow? And I'm going to make it a kind of a dark inner glow. And choke it and size it a little bit, and I'm probably going to have to change that blend mode to. I'm just playing with it. Oh, not that much. Oh, yuck. Oh, yuck. That's better. All right, and I'm just playing with all the options there. If you didn't catch everything, it just comes from playing with it. It's blend modes, choke, size. You just got to play. There's no other way to do it. All right, I'm going to click OK, and so you see what I'm getting here. That's looking pretty cool. I kind of like it. But what about this warping thing? Here's the deal, Sparky. I go over here to the type layer, and I double click. And if you look up in the control panel at the top, there's a little T with a curve right there, and that's for warping. So I'm going to click that button, and right now it says the warp style is none. I'll just pull that down, and I'm going to pick something like flag. Now let me move that out of the way. You see what the flag's going to do to that. All right. Now if I don't like flag, I could try something else. How about rise? Now I do kind of like rise, but here's the thing that I'm not sure I like. I'm not sure I want that much bend. So I'm going to reduce the amount of bend, and you can kind of see that happening there. Just a little bit of bend. Okay, there we go. Better. All right, so that's looking pretty good. I kind of like what I got there, so I'm going to click OK. And as soon as I switch to the Move tool, it's not selected anymore. And oh, look at that. That's pretty sharp looking text. I like it. It's warped. It's got that stroke on it, shadow, an inner shadow, a drop shadow. Oh, man, how cool. All right, so now I'm going to save this one. File, Save As, and it's text2. All right. And got that. And then I would have to go on to complete the assignment. I would have to go on and make one more. I'd have to make a text 3. But I'm going to stop here. I think you got the idea. So save your work on your network drive as always, and 3 text files. And hey, it's time for you to jump in and try it. You can use your name. You can use sports teams' names. You can use any school appropriate text that you want. Just come up with something that kind of interests you a little bit, and that will work. All right. There you go.